The holy season of Lent begins the same way every year, with ashes on our forehead on the Wednesday. The first Sunday we hear about Jesus being in the desert, in a deserted place, struggling, facing what lay ahead, the challenges. And on the second Sunday, we always hear of the mountaintop. I once remember a Cistercian monk who was giving me a retreat, and we had the reading of the Transfiguration on that particular day as well. And he said, no matter how wonderful the experience, how wonderful the moment, we have to come down the mountain. It would be nice to stay on vacation, but I guess that would turn into a bit of something that didn't feel like a vacation after a while. Because we do, when we are asked to face whatever it is happens to us. I'm always amazed, I know I've said this to you before, I'm always amazed when people said, but why, Father? Why? I got married in church, I sent my kids to Catholic school, I give to the Capital Campaign, I do all sorts of youth activities. And I say, oh, what gospel have you been reading? Yes, I applaud you for doing all those things, and I try myself. But it is not an immunization from difficulties. It's not an immunization from suffering. When I was away in England, and it was a wonderful time, I went to see a friend. Actually, at the beginning, he was my boss in a day treatment facility. His name was Richard. Very energetic, very lively. He would ride his bike 7 miles to work in central London every day and home again at night for 6 years that he was there. I've kept in touch with him since I came to America, but about 6 months ago he told me he was ill and was suffering from a very serious illness. So while in the West Country, I decided to go and visit him. So he was a man who was, the women really liked him. He looked like Robert Redford. As I said, he was extremely energetic. He couldn't even get out of bed to open a door for me. His grandson let me in. He couldn't raise his head from the bed. He could hardly speak. But he did tell me that week somebody was coming to take a recording of his voice so that when he loses his voice completely and he tries to say the words, that those can be interpreted. So he still will have communion. Oh, that's lovely. Communion, communication. And so we all have our own journey. We all have our own hearts to look into. And I hope that we all find moments that are mountaintop moments where we just feel something that's beyond description. Words can't describe, because if it is God, we can't describe it. But we feel it in our hearts. But there will be times when we might just feel like, why don't you take this chalice away from me? But as my old friend Dietrich Bonhoeffer used to say, in every situation, we have to act, suffer, and conquer, knowing that from every point on earth, we're near to God. Well, Richard and I worked together in a day treatment program. People would come there with heavy burdens, and at the beginning denying their addiction, denying what's happened to them. And gradually, as they told their stories, they would find the courage to admit them and to realize that they can't go it alone. And so Lent is not just a time to look into our own hearts, but to deepen our sensitivity to the hearts of others and the lives of others. Because we can't do it alone. We can't stay on the mountaintop, but we can walk together. And here we pride ourselves. We desire that no one walks alone. Please like, subscribe, or comment below.